My name is Corey. Not Corey with a Y or Corey with an EY. Corey with an I. A usually feminine spelling of a name for a guy. Not that I mind much the spelling of the name that my parents gave me. A few years ago, I had just been let go from my first job out of college. It had been pretty good money, but the company went under, so I started applying to every job that I could find, as you do. Indeed, Monster, even Craigslist. One Craigslist job in particular was based on the outskirts of the city I lived in, but I was ready to take anything. The job in question was some basic data entry and assistant work. Or at least that's what the job listing said. I thought it was an up and up, however, because this was one of the few Craigslist postings that had a website attached to it. It was a pretty basic website in retrospect, but the company's message seemed to make it sound like they were heavily about serving the city and facilitating volunteer work. Within minutes of applying, I got a response inviting me for an interview that same day, though it titled me as Miss Corey. I was going to respond to correct them, but it read that it was an automated response, so there would be no one to read it. I figured I'd just have to correct them once I got there, and again, didn't seem like a big deal. I'd gotten this once or twice before. I drove to the location the company website was listed, and it didn't seem too out of the ordinary. It was the second floor of a small building that was sandwiched between a pawn shop and a phone store. I didn't think too much of it, because it was a big city, and even if it's on the outskirts of the city, a job was a job. I looked up to the second floor of the outside and saw someone looking down at me. I couldn't make out the face, but it was a person. That much I'm sure of. I went inside of the building and took the elevator up to the second floor and didn't find a single soul. It looked like a half-finished office floor from what I remember, with some doors open and some locked shut, but there was simply no one to speak to, no one to inform that I was there. There was one cubicle, but one of the detachable walls has been left in another office room. There was a computer monitor in one room, but no desktop attached to it, a half-finished company banner, and a bookcase. Upon closer inspection of the bookcase, all the books weren't books at all, but a cardboard printing of a bunch of books stacked together. I finally had too much and called the phone number that had been on the website. I heard no phone ringing from where I stood. More so, the phone I called seemed to cut my call after a ring and a half, sending me straight to voicemail. Sufficiently creeped out by now, or wondering if I'd stumbled on something I shouldn't have, I took the elevator down. As the elevator door closed, I heard someone muttering angrily.
I thought that was a girl's name.
I didn't want to stay to find out who said it. Instead, I walked right back to my car and drove back home, not even daring to look back up at the window of the floor I was sure I had been scheduled for. That very evening, out of morbid curiosity, I checked Craigslist. The post was gone. I looked for the website. It had been disabled. To this day, I still wonder, what or who did I stumble on? One of my greatest regrets is never contacting the police about any of this.